What's up, y'all? It's Jay Shep, aka Everyday Shooter here, back again with another video. Now today we're going to be going over something that's coming down the pipeline, especially for Texas residents. I've been getting a few messages and questions asking me about proposed gun legislation that's coming up in the woodworks here in Texas. It's called the HB1927 or the House Bill 1927, what they call a common sense carry or a permitless carry for some other people I've heard it called. I think it's important because a lot of people seem to be confused as to what exactly this means, what's gonna be changing, what's gonna stay the same, and what this means for you if you're a license to carry holder, anything like that. All right, so I think it's important that before I go into what this bill will change, I think it's important that I say where the current bills are, what the current laws are as far as carrying and concealment. So, it's also important to realize that this hasn't passed yet. It has only gone through the House. It still has to go through the Senate in order for it to become law. So right now it's still waiting to find out whether or not the Senate is gonna pass it. So it hasn't become concrete yet. All right, so the current law generally bans the unlicensed carry, open or concealed, of a handgun of anybody who is under 21 years of age. Obviously, if you don't own that gun, then you can't carry it either way. The current law, your LTC, that allows you to both carry open and concealed. So with the LTC, you can both carry open and concealed. Without the LTC, you can carry openly, depending on what type of gun it is. If it's a long gun, shotgun, something like that, then you can openly carry that. Cool. To apply for the LTC, you've got to be at least 21 years of age, or you have to be at least you have to be at least 18 years of age to 20 years of age if you're in the military. Now, those are the things that are currently on the law, or on the books. But with the new bill, what the new bill will say basically is that allow anyone who's 21 or older, who legally owns that weapon, can both conceal and open carry that weapon without a permit, without training, without any kind of, application process that generally would come with the LTC process. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, everybody's gonna be walking around with guns, no permits, no concealed carry. It's gonna be the Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West. Calm down, relax, take a breath. First off, realize that Texas is kind of one of the most pro-gun, pro-2A states in the United States. I probably won't say the most, that's probably like Alaska or something like that. But it is definitely one of the most pro-2A states. So I definitely felt like I needed to say this because I was confused. I can't even lie, I was confused at the word, and I hate anything that has to do with any kind of legal jargon, legal speak, anything like that. Anybody who knows me will tell you I hate dealing with attorneys. I hate having to deal with them. If I can help it, I don't. But I know that they're a necessary evil. So, whatever. Now that we've gone over the current bill, what the new bill will introduce, I think it's also important that we speak on what this bill will not change. Because there's a lot of people who are like, one, I paid this money to go to this LTC course. I went and sat through this all-day LTC course. I went and got my fingerprints done. I went and did all this. And now you're telling me that the Joe Schmo down the street can sit there and walk around with his gun the exact same way that I did, or the exact same way that I do, even though I went through the entire process of getting the LTC process. Okay, yeah, fundamentally, yes, that is true, at least for here in Texas. Now, there are still a few good reasons as to why to have the LTC. One, if you've ever gone through the gun process, you know that there is an application and a background check and possibly a waiting period. Generally, that goes away when you have an LTC. So you can go into a gun store, fill out the paper, leave that day with the gun, with an LTC. Without the LTC, you've got to fill out the paperwork. They've got to send it off. They've got to go do all that processing, call you back in a couple of days. You come back up, pick it up. I don't like having to deal with all that, Me personally, I enjoy being able to just flash my LTC card, fill out that little 2-page piece of paper, then take my gun. That's how I like to do it. But without with the HB 1927 bill, people will be able to, to carry their guns and conceal them or open carry them. But it will not change the purchase process. It will not change who is eligible. to purchase these weapons. It does not allow for a permitless campus carry. So like if you are on a college campus and you had an LTC, you could theoretically, you could carry a weapon. Without that LTC, even with this HB 1927 proposition, you will not be able to do that. So there are still some, some other things that are beneficial towards having LTC. And the very last, probably the most beneficial, is the reciprocity. So like, if you don't know what reciprocity is, it's a tough word. Say it with me now. Reciprocity is basically like, if you have a concealed carry in one state, that concealed carry is honored if you cross state lines into another state. That state honors your reciprocity laws. Basically, it's like saying that you have a concealed carry in that state as well. That is one good thing about having an LTC. Once you leave Texas, HB 1927 don't mean it don't mean police officer who pulled you over. It don't mean any of that. So HB 1927, it may sound like a scary, big scary thing or whatever, but really it's not changing a ton. It is changing some, and I think it has the possibility or the potential for disaster. But at the same time, this is Texas again. There's a lot of people that carry pistols and guns and things like that, both legally and illegally. And if you don't know about it, you don't know about it. The thing that worries me about this proposition is that now everybody will feel the need to walk around with the new pistol that they bought, even if it's just a peacock. There's gonna be a whole lot of confrontations that start out with flexing. People getting into stuff already in the store because somebody looked at them crazy. How do you think this is gonna go if both people who theoretically may not have been trained or had any kind of training as far as safety, use, anything like that with the weapon, now both are walking around all day with a pistol on their hip, with no training, with no kind of understanding of gun laws, anything like that? All that goes into the LTC program. So I personally, I think there's a potential that this could go bad. I think that there's a potential that this could not make any difference at all. I just don't see other than saying we can do what we want with our guns, I don't see the purpose in it, me personally. That's just me. I'm sure there's probably some people that disagree. There's probably some people that do agree. But I think just the potential for disaster is there. Take that how you will. Hopefully, I've explained to you exactly what the HB 1927 bill will entail, what it will change, what it means to you as both a Texas gun owner and as a gun owner in general. Anyway, so you guys, we're almost at 1,000 subs. I know you see it. We're so close, guys. All right, and plus I didn't forget about the giveaway. All right, so once we get to 1,000 for the last video, I'll go ahead and start picking out the giveaway winners. All right, guys. So y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna be giving out stuff every now and then, things like that. I'm not rich, so obviously I can't just give away the house and the farm or whatever. But I'm gonna keep giving stuff out. So y'all keep on the lookout, things like that. If I see any kind of topics or anything like that I think may be beneficial for you guys to hear that I know anything about, I'll tell you about that as well, just like today. It's not always gonna be me at the gun range, things like that, especially with ammo prices, y'all. I love y'all, but hey, I ain't about to go broke just for the sake of making a couple of videos. Guys, know your gun laws. It's very important. Especially if you are, I hate to bring this up, but especially if you are a minority, it is imperative that you are acquainted with the gun laws in your state, really in your country, but in your state and in your city especially. So I challenge you to go do your due diligence. Don't just take my word for it. Go do some research yourself. Look it up. See if you have the same understanding. See if you have a different understanding. And if you don't, ask somebody who may have a different another understanding. The only thing that can hurt is not knowing. So guys, do what you got to do to protect yourself, but also do what you have to do to be sure that you're protected if you have to protect yourself, guys. All right. With that being said, I hope that y'all have a good day. Good morning, by the way. You see it's still, hear the birds and stuff like that. It's still early in the morning. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna show you what to do. Peace.